Hi, this is Zish, Visionary Life Hacks, here to connect, here to inspire, here to be the change. If you're watching the live, welcome. If you're watching the replay, welcome. And if you share this live, thank you for sharing. Sharing is caring. Woohoo! So I just shared a post today about the activated charcoal, because you always know. I remember when the post was going viral from the Goofy Guru. There's loads of these Goofy Guru experts now. They suddenly, they're like these woke experts, and they suddenly like appear on the scene. It takes a little kind of travesty, and then suddenly they're these like great experts, and and then they're selling everything. And so the activated charcoal is one of those ones. It's like when you've seen nicotine destroys nanotech, and that meme just went viral. Now this meme now about the activated charcoal is going viral. It's going viral, and then you start to see everybody's responses on it, and I'm like literally the only human being going, well, I think we really need to look at the word activated and what activated means. It's like they're rubbing salt in your wounds, and they're telling you you can't complain if you end up turning into a transhumanism. They were telling you, but because you listened to the meme on a Facebook, like the doctor took his advice from a Facebook post, you've got to you can't run with a meme on a Facebook, which is fake news media, and believe that is going to really, it's going to be a cure-all. And the Shilajit is another one. Like, is all Shilajit created equal? What is your journey with Shilajit? I've got a personal journey with Shilajit from around 2007 to 2008. And even back then, there were fake Shilajits. I remember Pucker Herb selling this powdered Shilajit. It was like tar. It was disgusting. And I was investing in a specific Rasayana from the Afghan traditional medicine dispensary that was combining the balm of Gilead with valerian and specific herbs, and saffron with a gulkand, which was a hive phasal, with a rose and a honey. And it was specifically from the Afghan tradition of ancient medicine. But we are in a different time to the times of Ayurvedic medicine or traditional Chinese medicine, because today we now are dealing with the transhuman agenda, which is the hackable humans. Now you can look at it as the resistance, and go, well, I'm listening to the David Avocado Wolves and the Goofy Gurus. Or you can look at it from the perspective of those that are deeply entrenched in the natural medicine of this mindset of an Alan Savory, of a compartmentalized what is science, and they're deeply into the Internet of Nano things, and they really believe in their AI transhuman. They really believe in it. So I'm kind of looking at it through the lens of them. I'm not looking at it from the lens of Cliff High or David Avocado Wolf or Matt Elevate Cultivate or any of these goofy gurus that are still wrapped up in parasitology, or they're still wrapped up in, the Morgellons, which is long gone, or they're still wrapped up in the fact that you might have a diagnosis. There's so many of these people, or I've got all the Rife technology, buy my Spooky 2 or buy my EE system, spend 250,000, take my aluminum silicate zeolites, it's like, take my products with silicon dioxide and silica in them. There's so many. So when you look into how is the hackable human going to manifest, well, you're being steered. Oh, I'm woke. Well, you're being steered in your little compartmentalized woke group, where they're leading you to the Shilajit. And then the Shilajit, what I'm starting to realize, that not all Shilajit is created equal. When I started seeing Shilajit come out of America, I was like, what's going on here? How is Shilajit in America? Shilajit never really came from America. It came from places like Sri Lanka. It came from using dung kilns with sulfur medicines and mercurial medicines and salt medicine and working the fire, and then you would end up with this pitch mineral, which you would not take that pitch mineral with metal, and you would only use it with specific herbs, and you would only take it if you were diagnosed. Now, it's the same with the charcoal. Charcoal in the family physician book, the Materia Medica, from the late doctor of the 1900s, was never activated. We need to be asking ourselves the question, what actually is activated? What does that mean? And so when I'm looking at the word activated, I'm asking myself, is that the activation with your C60 and your ivermectin and your methylene blue and your fulvic humic minerals, is that bringing in a technology that is, and your spooky 2 device and your digital technology and all that, and your terahertz wand? How are all of these? Oh, but it's helping my human biology. Well, of course, it might just help your human biology, but are you considering the synthetic biology of the transhumanism from the AI mystic wisdom? Don't look at it as a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. They believe in it. It's their hearts are all in it. They're nerdy about it, and they're bringing you that because many of you want it, because you've all gone out and bought your iPhones. You've consented to it. You've consented to it by buying your iPhone. You want this. You want to be on the internet. You want to be on Facebook. You want to have likes. You want to have likes on your YouTube. You want to be a viral star. So you're ushering it in. I am, all of us are ushering it in through this internet of everything, the internet of nano things, the wide body area network. So if you're hearing somebody say to you, hey, you need this humic mineral, it might be worth you going, okay, hey, you need this C60. It might be worth going in and and asking the question in some kind of chat GPT or something. How is humic minerals and fulvic minerals, how are they used as a technology in the synthesis of transhumanism? And the chat GPT will love that question. It's a phenomenally awesome question. And they'll give you loads of white papers and PubMed journals that you can read where they're showing you how the humic, because if you're going to douse everybody in geoengineering, they don't have to spray you in DDT today, they're spraying you in all this nano-engineering. So when they're spraying you in all these nano-engineering with all these antennae and receptors and these self-assembling wetworks that are coming in from the clouds, and they're coming in as the smart dust and the carbon nanotubes, and some people are consenting to putting it actually into themselves and editing their DNA, and then you're taking your fulvic minerals and your humic mineral and your activated charcoal and your nano silver this and your nano zeolites that, and you're taking all of these things, and then you're conducting yourself and you're becoming alkaline, and you start to conduct, and you're eating your lovely organic food that's been sprayed with nano silver. I'm not being negative. I'm just painting a picture, a Philip K. Dick picture that you can kind of like start to see. Like, well, you need to give me more evidence on C60 than that. Well, you've only heard the evidence of what happened to one rat, but what about what happened to all the other rats? And what did NASA say? I've seen the whole literature from NASA that actually states that C60 is a modern day asbestos. But you go to Cultivate and Elevate and he'll tell you that you need asbestos. You might as well take some Rising while you're at it. So, like, really, we're at this point now where, like, we've got to ask ourselves, like, why do you think you need charcoal, let alone activated charcoal? Are you full of poop? Do you have very severe flatulence? Because you would only really take charcoal, not activated. The way that you would activate some charcoal, how I would activate some charcoal from a gardener's agronomist perspective, I might make a fire with some nice ash wood or some oak wood or some thorn wood. And then when I finish with the ash, I might put it into my compost with my well-rotted organic manure. And then I might, with my earthworms in there, and then I might add my comfrey teas and my nettles, and then I would activate it with my own urine. Now, a lot of people aren't thinking about, like the people that are guzzling the urine, they're not thinking that their urine is containing nanosynthetic biology. They ain't building the anti-nano triangles. That's why I posted the Gwen Scott. I posted the Gwen Scott post so you could learn when Tony Pantalleresco and Brian 396 were working out that they no longer had a pathology of a Lyme's disease and they were dealing with an overload of payload from the geoengineering and the self-assembling nanobots. Yeah, you can throw graphene in there if you want to. You can throw all the other things in there if you want to. There's a whole list of things that come. It's not just the graphene. There's a whole shopping list of things. And then there's all the other things. Now, imagine what's in the geoengineering right now. You knew what was in there when Ilana Freeland wrote book 1. You knew what was in there when Nick Begich wrote The Angels Don't Play This Harp, and I read the Nexus magazine in 1994. You knew what was in there back then. So what is there now when these AI transhuman mystics that like I could go today to Cambridge University and say, I want to do a master's degree. I might do it. I want to do a master's degree because I want to make loads of money. I'm going to get all the funding because I want to go and become biotech digital and I want to make transhumanism because they believe in it. That man that has got the Neuralink in him, he believes in it. They like as a cyberpunk or a cypherpunk, they genuinely believe in it. And I'm totally down with like why they believe in it. I have to be able to put my mind into their shoes and look at it from a positive as to why they want to do that. Because it's compartmentalized. They believe in it. They truly, like that Yoa guy who wants to turn you into a hackable human and have you all gaming. Well, you want to game anyway. You want to play GTA. You want to do your gaming things. You want to be on your iPhone, which is a game. You're gaming on your phone. Like a lot of my friends are gaming on their phones. They want to game. They want to gamble. People want to be in the phones. So while you're in the phone and you're engaging in the phone, it's like that scene in The Matrix. It gets to a point in The Matrix where Neo has decided to break free. And he says, do you want the red pill or the blue pill? Do you remember when the one guy sabotages it and says, no, I want to go back into the simulation. I want to go back in. I don't like it out here. Oh my God, I'm fighting all these nanobots. Do you see? And that was written by folks that are AI mystic, transhuman. That's their God. They're into that. They're really into it. It's like I've got to look at it from the duality of the divide and the conquer, but from the dark crystal where the Skeksis merge with the mystics and they become these angelic beings. I don't see it as a negative. I've got to look at it through the lens of like, okay, because everyone else is like, well, I'm counteracting the geoengineering by taking fulvic mineral. It's like, but are you really? I'm counteracting it by taking the activated charcoal and the diatomaceous earth. My friend Catherine would use diatomaceous earth on a coat of a cat that's worse for wear, that you need to clean up the coat. And it destroys all the skeletals. And that diatomaceous earth was put into the health food shops in the 60s as another form of psyop to create a cloaking device within the body so that other things can culminate. And when you're putting something into the body that is on a nanoscale, the body can absorb it and it can't absorb it. So therefore then you're creating this kind of confusion within your remarkable immune system, especially with the C60, especially with the methylene blue and your fulvic minerals and all these things, because you don't know how they're making it, and the zeolites. You look into some of these owners of these zeolites and they're into seed surveillance. We're one step away from human surveillance. They want to do human surveillance because it's for your protection. You want to protect your assets. You want to protect all of these things. They want to protect you. You know, that's why I see, when I see all these shops now and they're all getting raided and people are pilfering and taking everything, I'm thinking they're allowing them to do it. They don't even realise by them doing that, they're bringing in their own slavery and the central bank digital currency. And the only people that it's going to hurt, it's not going to hurt the people that can't afford, that are living paycheck to paycheck. It's going to hurt the people who, the boogeyman people, decided that they were coming after the middle class retail money, not the wholesale. They're coming after the retail. They're coming after the boomers. That's the money that they want. They want all of that money. They want the lion's share. They've got the AI. They want it. So for somebody like me who has, you shall have nothing and be happy, it doesn't make any difference to me. I've been in that breakaway civilization the day that I arrived. I don't bother with all that woke stuff. I don't need to go and march somewhere to be awake and to, you know, choose your side. Woohoo, you know. I don't need to do that. I chose my mission when I came to this crazy planet Earth. Whenever I chose to come here, 9 months before I was born into this world, this crazy world. And at age 10, I'd had enough of this world. At age 10, I was like, I'm done with this. I'm done. I've got my catapult and my sugarcane. I'm done. I just want to hang out with my uncles, the Mujahideen, fighting communism in the Afghan mountains. At that point, I was done. I was done with the doctors. I was done with the schooling. I was done with everything. And the thing today is that the most important thing to do is to focus on the quantum, to focus on the peace, to focus on the love, to focus on the Merkaba, to focus on putting your best foot forward, to focus on the tangible solutions, but to be aware that you are being tricked by you know, I've got my little protocols that work for me. If someone comes to me now and says, tell me about C60, I'm like, I ain't telling you shit. You do your own research. I posted it on the wall. But Zeesh, you're telling us about it now. Yeah, I'm having a little rant right now. I'm getting it off my chest because I've been processing it for the last week. Just processing it all and thinking to myself, well, like, I'm just sick of seeing all this activated. I did my post. Somebody came to me and they were, why are you all butthurt? So I said, no. Like the other day, so I did this silica post. I've posted that on my wall years ago. It's been on my wall for years ago. It's been there. I've said to people, go and watch the videos. Go and check. It's all there. Everything is there. So the other day I walked, rather than doing one of those little holistic things where, you know, the Tartarian videos where I put myself in the bottom and go, hello, I haven't got time for that. So I just walked with Tony on my audio and just walked and did one of those, like, I'm not bothered about getting millions of likes on TikTok or millions of likes here or there. I just thought, okay, I'm going to show you, I'm going to get you to listen to Tony. And then you're all going to come to me and go, we want Tony's post. We want Tony's post. Yeah, I've been trying to tell you, but you don't listen to me. You had to hear it through Tony. And then I have to share with you the link. So then I did like 10 posts, like C3PO. I did another post. I did a small post. I did Small Love True, Small Love True. These are from like 2017. Posted all this stuff. I've been saying the same thing over and over and over again. And my friend Kevin says it. You can lead the horse to water, but sometimes you have to shoot the horse. I'm kind of done with the whole nano thing. But the levels of stupidity. Now, this is the funny thing. We are now in this smart era, right? It's so smart that it's making people stupid, and you have to keep it simple stupid. Do you see? It's crazy. We're in this paradox. But while you have not endorsed or consented to that coming down on you, or consented to that going into you, now you're in the, you know, but we are breathing that stuff in on the nano engineering levels. And if you haven't taken the time to go and find the free literature, it's free. This free literature by Ilana Freeland, and you can buy her books. She's written 3 books. I've got one that I read every day, and it's all there. It's all there. All the data points are there. The work's been done for you by meticulous, Steiner, educated people that thought it was Morgellons, and it's not Morgellons. It isn't Morgellons. It's synthetic biology. And what are you going to do to disengage the synthetic biology? That is the question. So you do need to take the time to build the anti-nano triangles. You do need to take the time to learn about the induction coils and Tony Pantalleresco spikes. If you care, you might want to take some action. You might want to work out. Now, the beautiful thing, this is the beautiful thing. The Tesla technology, the beautiful thing about the Tesla technology, let me share this with you. I got this amazing download the other day. Right, let me share this, and I'm going to be over and out. I'm over and out then, I'm done. Okay, so this is the Tesla technology. And the reason I shared the Clive de Carl post is because I've sold machines to Clive de Carl. So I've sold him like machines like this. Right, so with the Tesla technology, right, with this Tesla technology, not only are you starting to, with the antique technology, this is what I do. In the antique literature, you are sterilizing the body with the ozone. You are then bringing in the electrons from the non-weaponized analog technology. So from using the non-digital analog technology, the acoustic telegraphy, you are then starting to work with the ether, which is the photon, the photonic plasma. So you've got the electrons from the electricity, the photons from the plasma, the promulgation of the stem cell, and then where does this play into the synthetic nanotechnology, the spike protein? Where does that fit in? So you've got your electrons from the electricity, the photons from the plasma, the sterilization from the ozone. Then you have the idea of some kind of anti-paracelsus, the anti-para-something. The anti-para-something is the distortion and the disruption of the Bobby digital with the analog acoustic. And then you have the lymphatic with the using of this technology on the muscular and the fascia, the fascia, and working on the body, on the skin, the largest organ of the body. And then combining that with, this is like a form of nutrition. And then when you combine that then with your fats, the fats that heal, the healthy fats, the Western A. Price Foundation, the terrain theory, bringing in the peracetic acid, which is your hydrogen peroxide, 3%, 16%, 16 ounces of 3% hydrogen peroxide, 16 ounces of white wine vinegar with 32 ounces of distilled water. And then you're bringing in the salt bathing. Can you see how simple it is? I'm not talking about anything activated. Okay, maybe we'll keep some things out, but maybe just some Dead Sea salt. Dead Sea salt. We're just talking about Dead Sea salt. How good is Dead Sea salt and grey sea salt and Redmond real salt? And maybe dunking into a hot spring or a sea water, jumping in the cold ocean or into a cold waterfall. How good could that be? Anyway, there you go. That was Brother Zish chiming in with some positive solutions, focusing on the AI mystics, the internet of everything, the internet of nano things. Let's become cyberpunks. Let's go! Woohoo! Boogie boogie. Boogie boogie. What's that? Buck Rogers. Boogie boogie. Boogie boogie. Nano nano. Nanu nanu. Come in, Orson. Orson, come in, Orson. 1 minute. Let me take my shilajit while I've been buried in the mountain with an Om Mani Padme Hum. Monkey magic.